Hi, my name is Kourosh, and I've always been fascinated by science and the wonders of the world around us. I love turning exciting ideas into fun stories that help kids learn, imagine, and dream big. I began writing books when I was just 8 years old, and by the age of 10, I had already written 3 of them. My very first book, My Trip Across the Universe, is a thrilling sci-fi journey through space and the story of how our universe began. It was published on Amazon in 2022. I also wrote Our Beautiful Earth, a colorful exploration of the layers of our amazing planet. It hasn't been published yet, but you can watch its animated version on my educational YouTube channel, KPEd. I hope you enjoy this new adventure through the digestive system just as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. Let's explore and learn together. Pietro, Shiori, and me were sitting at the table, enjoying the food our moms had prepared for us. We were eating and chatting. Shiori loved strawberries, so she picked up a big one and took a bite. While looking at the strawberries in her hand, she said, "Hey friends, I'd love to ride this strawberry and explore what happens to food inside our body." Pietro jumped in. "I know what happens first. As soon as you enter the mouth, the teeth start chewing you. You would scream, 'Help! Help! Get me out of here!'" Shiori laughed so hard at what Pietro said. "You're right, Pietro," she giggled. "I never thought about that. Maybe Kourosh can explain what really happens. He knows a lot about the human body. Isn't that right, Kourosh?" I smiled and said, "Well, I have read some books about it, and my dad told me a few things too. If you want, I can share what I know." They both nodded excitedly. "So," I began, "everything we eat goes into the digestive system. That's the system in our body that turns food into things we need to grow and have energy. Now, Shiori, imagine you are really riding that strawberry. The first place you will visit is the mouth. That's where digestion begins. The teeth crush the food into smaller pieces. Then a watery liquid called saliva helps soften the food and prepares it for digestion." Pietro asked, "Kourosh, where do we taste food?" "Oh, great question," I said. "I almost forgot to tell you. We taste food with our tongue. The tongue is part of the digestive system too. One of its jobs is to sense the flavors of food. It does this with tiny bumps called papillae, and inside those bumps are special cells called taste buds." Shiori said, "Wow, that's so interesting. I had no idea all that was happening in our mouths. What comes next?" "Well," I continued, "after chewing, we swallow the food. It goes down a pipe called the esophagus, which moves the food into the stomach. The muscles in the esophagus push the food down. It's like a gentle slide. When food gets to the stomach, that's when digestion really gets going," I explained. The kids looked a bit confused, so I added, "Let me explain what digestion means. It's when the body breaks down food into tiny pieces it can use. The stomach mixes the food with strong acid called hydrochloric acid and an important helper called pepsin, which is an enzyme. Pepsin's job is to break down proteins in the food so our body can use them." Pietro nodded. "That makes more sense now." He then asked, "Kourosh, how long does food stay in our bodies?" I said, "On average, about 32 hours, but it depends on the person and the kind of food you eat." Next, the food moves into the small intestine. Even though it's called small, actually it's very long, about 6 meters. It's the part where most of the nutrients get absorbed into the body. After that, I continued, the food goes into the large intestine. Even though it's called large, it's only about 2 meters long, but it's wider than the small intestine. That's why it's called large. Its job is to absorb water and some vitamins from the leftovers." Shiori asked, "But if it's shorter, why is it called large?" I smiled and said, "It's because it's thicker, not longer. The large intestine is about twice as thick as the small one." Suddenly, Shiori giggled and said, "Kourosh, it smells weird in here. Someone has a bubble maker in their tummy." I could not stop laughing when I heard that. Then Pietro, holding his nose, said, "Kourosh, what is so funny? This smells awful." I explained, "Those bubbles you see and smell are gases made during digestion. Some of them are hydrogen sulfide and methane, which make that stinky smell. These gases gather in the rectum, which is the last part of the digestive system. But now, I said, the gases are trying to come out, which means we must hurry and jump out too. With my warning, Pietro and Shiori grabbed my hands, and just as the anus opened, we all jumped out. Phew, we made it, I shouted. We were lucky. A few seconds later, the feces came out.